Welcome, everybody, to the Channel Vision Magazine webinar featuring Quest Technology Management and Aruba, a Hewlett-Packard enterprise company. Together, they will share with us how to connect and protect SD-WAN and SASE without compromise. I'm your moderator, Bruce Christian, Senior Editor of Channel Vision Magazine. Our presenters are Adam Burke, the Quest Technology Management VP of Sales and Partnerships, and Jason Anderson, Aruba's Channel Systems Engineer. And with that, please welcome Adam Burke and Jason Anderson.
Thanks, Bruce. Really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for your time today. Excited about going through the capabilities with Aruba and kind of talking through deployment of SASE and all these different models. So if we can go ahead and jump through, I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you guys a little bit more about Quest Technology Management. Our organization has been a managed services solution provider and value-add reseller coming up on 40 years in 2022 here. These are some of our industry recognitions across the channel. We've been a solution provider. We've been a managed services and security provider, and we've seen some great recognition from our partners and our clients across the United States and internationally, putting together custom and complex IT solutions for our clients. Our go-to-market in collaboration with Aruba is trying to help your organizations, your teams, your partners, your clients execute and meet their business objectives. And SD-WAN and SASE and deploying these latest and greatest technologies with Aruba and our team are a fantastic way to build resilience, build additional security at the edge for our partners, for our clients collectively together. So we've been partnered with Aruba and Hewlett-Packard for a very long time. We are a go-to integration, implementation, and delivery partner. As I mentioned, Quest history over the last 40 years, we started out in the early 80s as a value-added reseller and have moved forward with professional services, managed services, and managed security services. So our hundreds of engineers and deployment technicians and program managers work very closely with the Aruba team to size, scope, and understand the scale of your needs or your customers' needs and delivering that solution. So they had an active partnership for over 20 years, long time working together. The Aruba, SD-WAN, and SASE solutions have had a few different brands throughout those, but they was excited to see the acquisition and the integration into the entire Aruba stack back from the Silver Peak days. So very, very excited about that growth for them. So congratulations to that team. And we consistently see revenue growth with the Aruba team every year because clients are asking for more and more help on these solutions. So our edge compute and our delivery centers, as I mentioned, Quest is a managed services and infrastructure delivery organization. These are some of our locations all over the globe where we deliver capacity from a compute and managed services standpoint. We are a full managed services organization running 24/7. We have a follow the sun methodology for our network and our security operations centers, which includes helping and supporting both the end users and the IT staffs of our partner organizations that we work with. So we help everything from the endpoint, trying to work on that connectivity, trying to work on that connection at the individual user, all the way through advanced configuration support, core network and integration work as well. And we do it on an international basis. Our headquarters, we're headquartered in Northern California on the left side of the US there. And then we have a follow the sun methodology where we support out of the South Pacific and then back over to Dublin, Ireland for our NOC and SOC services. When we're talking about SASE, when we're talking about SD-WAN and collaboration and connectivity, this touches every aspect of Quest portfolio. So if you look at the Quest portfolio of services, we help out with the product selection, the technology selection, but we also help out in the area of cybersecurity, and disaster recovery. And why this is important is because cybersecurity, incidents, response, being available 24/7, not only is it important to help you and your team select the appropriate product, but we want to be there for you 24/7 in the event there is an event. So we've built out a cybersecurity practice. And about 15 to 20 years ago, our first managed services engagements were focused around disaster recovery. A lot of people focusing on DR, a lot of people focusing on business resilience. This translates directly into the SD-WAN strategy as well as the SASE strategy. Having that DR and disaster recovery business continuity mindset at the forefront of everything we do really helps support our team's ability to help you make the appropriate decision in size and scope when looking at both SASE and SD-WAN options for within the Aruba stack. So really excited about kind of the way that our portfolio cross supports the different areas that we work within. In addition to those, we have infrastructure services, which is the physical layer, right? So as you're delivering connectivity or rolling out new circuits or upgrading those types of things, which can often be part of an SD-WAN solution. We do the physical demarc, we do the cabling, we do inside-outside cable plant services. We build, operate, maintain, and manage full data centers. So if you need help building out the physical layer of your IT stack, that is another thing that helps cross-support those environments. Two other areas real quick that I would love to make sure that the team, and again, thank you for your time today, are aware of is the application development and professional services capabilities of Quest. We have hundreds of engineers on staff that are available to you and your teams when you're rolling these solutions out. It can be part of the design effort, it can be part of the physical installation, or it can be part of the ongoing support and M&O activity. If you're supporting custom apps, you're integrating with SaaS applications, the Aruba stack, and I know Jason's going to get into it, has some amazing application integration capabilities, and we're there to help at the application layer as well. So as I discussed earlier, we are 24/7. We have pre-sales, engineering, support, right? So when we hop on a call with Jason and his team, we're understanding, what your needs are, if it needs to integrate into a information technology and asset management platform. If you have something deployed, you need lifecycle management. Those are all things that we can help size and scope at the outset. Now, the next two slides are eye charts, and I apologize, and we'll go ahead and would love to talk more in detail with you, but just at a high level, I want everyone on this call to understand that we take a building block approach to putting together service level agreements. So it can be as simple as I need the SD-WAN appliance or the subscription to the software, and our team has it. Or if you need help monitoring, maintaining it, supporting it, or my favorite bullet item is right there, smack dab in the middle, called our technical on-call support, industry leading capability of on-demand, as needed engineers across different skill sets. So anyone that works with us from a managed services perspective knows about our technical on-call support, but we also offer technical on-call support as a standalone offering where you have access to our hundreds of engineers on our bench in different skill sets, kind of the Uber of engineering. You need a person at a specific location at a specific time, amazing capability there. Totally changes the game when it comes to engaging with you when you need help with the skill sets you need. So again, this is an eye chart. Would love to talk to you more about it. If you'd like to have a follow-up conversation, definitely available to dig into it. So now, where do we start? Where can we get engaged? Where can we help in this conversation? We love to do workshops and assessments with you and with your teams. So if you're evaluating transitioning to a SASE type architecture or an SD-WAN platform, or if you're trying to figure out how that's going to integrate with your existing hybrid environment, we have all of these workshops and assessments where we can start the conversation, help you understand where you are right now and where you want to go, and then give you kind of a little bit of a choose your own adventure roadmap, if you will, on where you can go next. So this is our workshop and assessment program. Again, there's a lot up there, a lot of different areas where we can start. But if you are interested in learning more about that, we would love to talk to you, have a quick conversation about where we could start in the assessment and the workshop program. And in addition to that, we do have the monitoring services. So we talked a little bit about our following the sun. This is utilization monitoring, as well as when we're talking about security, SASE solutions, event monitoring, log monitoring, what's happening at the edge, correlation of events. Tons of things are happening at the end user level, at that endpoint. Those decisions are crucial, how you're protecting those endpoints, and then how are you monitoring and how do you have visibility to it. Jason's going to get into the technical capabilities, but just want to let you know all of those capabilities can be pointed directly to our network operations center or yours, or we can be a backup after hours for you. We put together custom reports, or if you need any help just tuning or tweaking an existing management platform you have, we've been doing this for 20 plus years as a monitoring and management organization. So we get involved in complex delivery all the time, and would love to talk to you about areas where we've been able to help organizations get good, clean, reduced noise visibility of their environments.
We're going to move into the Aruba Edge Connect SD-WAN solution portion of the webinar here. And again, my name is Jason Anderson. I'm Channel SE for Aruba Edge Connect. I was actually part of the Silver Peak team going back all the way to 2016 and stayed on with Aruba when the acquisition happened about 2 years ago. What we're going to cover here today is simply an overview of the solution, and then as well 2 integrations that we've done with Aruba that play into our SASE story. So not just being an SD-WAN vendor, partnering with SSE providers to create the SASE environment, but also how our 2 major integrations with Aruba also add a third component of zero trust to that architecture as well. So the first thing we'll talk about is just a product overview of the Edge Connect solution. And as you can see here, this is a diagram of network topologies from the past, right? All of our applications were located within the data center, and so we did not have direct access to the internet or did not allow applications to go directly to the internet as a general case, right? It's been the model for probably about the last 20, 25 years. And so once applications started moving to the cloud, moving to Office 365, Salesforce, those types of things, having to backhaul into data centers affects the performance of those applications. I've actually seen applications have to go, for users in Alaska having to hairpin in Denver just to get to the internet, right? Which really hampers the performance of those applications. And so really what we need is a better way of building our WAN topologies. And what that encompasses is allowing applications to go directly to the destinations that they need to go to, whether that's to the internet, whether that's to a data center, right? Also, we need to be able to use multiple paths, multiple underlays, regardless of the technology. So we need to have broadband internet. If customers still need to have MPLS and those types of private networks, that's fine. If they want to use satellite or LTE, either as primary connections or as backup connections, users and companies, customers need to have that flexibility to do all of those and build their networks the way they need to. And that's really what the Edge Connect solution is all about. The traditional branch network, right? Typically costly circuits, it's antiquated architecture, multiple platforms, it's complex. Really need to be able to reduce all of these features, all of this functionality, all into one solution. And that's what the Edge Connect solution is about with Aruba. And so essentially, it's very simple. You have an orchestrator, we call it the Aruba orchestrator, that is your central management platform, right, for your entire WAN fabric. You do all of your configuration, all of your troubleshooting, get all of your reporting. Everything you need to do is from this great, nice, easy to use UI versus CLI, right? How we used to have to do things, in the past, right, as network engineers. You can manage your fabric all from there rather than you having to go hop by hop by hop, right? I'll give you an example. I used to be a network engineer for a global agricultural company. We had about 1,200 sites around the world. We used to have to manage, right, those routers individually on a single site-by-site basis. And now with the orchestrator, you can manage your environment all from one great centralized platform. The Edge Connect software is available, right? It's either on hardware that you purchase from us, or if you prefer, if you have your own white box environments or hyper-converged environments, the software is also available as VMs, and it's also available in all the major cloud providers, AWS, Azure, right, GCP, and Oracle Cloud as well. So again, we're replacing the edge, we're replacing the old legacy routers that you find at the edge with a new appliance, a new router that is able to give you the functionality that we were talking about before. With the orchestrator, again, everything is a centralized configuration and orchestration. All of your reporting, troubleshooting, all of the automation that comes with it. We'll talk a little bit more about some of that, how that incorporates into the SASE environment. But again, instead of having to manage everything site by site on a CLI basis, you can see here, you get a great application where you could do all of the management of your environment from one nice, easy to use central management platform. And what it all nets out to is, right, it's a better way to build your wide area network. It's built, right, with applications in the data center, applications in the cloud in mind, right? We route by application now. So you can say, I want Office 365 to do this, and I want Microsoft Teams to do this, and I want, Commvault to do this. And you can route it where you need to very easily, unlike the complexity that it basically abstracts the complexity that we as network engineers and customers had to deal with in the past. All right, so we're going to talk really quick about how we accomplish exactly what we were talking about earlier. And basically, we've dialed this down. The Edge Connect solution dials down the configuration of your environment to what we call business intent overlays. And essentially, these particular overlays allow you to select one application or a group of applications and have that application or group of applications treated however you want. So in other words, you can name your overlays whatever you want. We've named these real-time, enterprise, default. But the key thing to remember is that within each overlay, right, are different applications. You can choose what underlays, what circuits you want them to use, how you want them to use, what kind of topologies you want them to create, right? Whether it's a mesh topology or hub and spoke topology based on what the application needs are. And then you can also, prioritize your applications through QoS, just simply selecting what you want, the priority for those applications for this particular overlay to be. So QoS is really easy. It's like 1 is the best, 10 is the worst. So you can create those how you need. Again, it's virtualizing the wide area network. All the underlays, everything are still there like you had before, but now you've actually created an additional virtual layer to treat those applications in the best manner possible. And they're done through the business intent overlays. Again, everything is drag and drop, clickable. You just tell the orchestrator what you want it to do, and then it actually goes out and builds your network for you. A couple of other things that we do as well. So application performance is what we're concerned about. Not only just letting applications go where they need to in the most direct fashion, but also trying to compensate for when issues are happening on your underlays. So we do something called path conditioning. If there is loss on the underlays of your network, so that could be broadband internet connections, MPLS, whatever, we'll actually do, it's kind of like RAID for packets. We will actually create parity packets that mirror your data packets. So for example, you could be sending 10 data packets down one path. And if they're depending on the amount of loss, we may send one parity packet on a separate path. If any of those 10 data packets get dropped or lost, the Silver Peak on the other side, when they receive the parity packet, can rebuild any of those 10 packets, right? And so they don't have to communicate back, say, I didn't get this data or this packet or this traffic, causing, retransmissions and causing delays in data transmission. It just rebuilds it and everybody moves on. And that parity is dynamic. So depending on the amount of loss, it could be done for 1 out of every 10 packets, 1 out of every 20 packets. That ratio is dynamic. And so you could see in the middle portion here where it says overlay network, if you have multiple underlays and they are experiencing loss or adverse conditions, when those are combined and used together along with our path conditioning, you can have essentially overlay network still be 100% healthy, even though the underlays, right, are experiencing different issues. And then dynamic path selection, that's the other one. Intelligently routing over multiple links. So if you have 2 sites here, right, and you have Edge Connect routers at each of those sites, and there's 3 different underlay connections, the Edge Connects can intelligently route traffic on the best possible path. And they can do this on a per packet basis. So they're constantly monitoring the real-time metrics, right, of each link in regards to throughput, so latency, loss, and jitter. And it can determine one packet, if a packet comes into this particular Edge Connect, maybe MPLS is the best path, it'll put that packet on there. If the next packet comes in and your internet connection is the best possible path, it will put that next packet on that path, reassemble everything on the other side before it sends it on to the end user. So that way, not only are you taking advantage of the full bandwidth available to the site, but you're also doing path selection based on the best characteristics, ensuring that that traffic gets placed on the best underlying circuits as possible. Aruba Boost. This is what we, for those of you who have been familiar with Silver Peak for a long time, Silver Peak first started out as a WAN optimization company back in 2004. We still have all of that capability. So if you remember that space, WAN optimization is essentially accelerating traffic over long distances to overcome latency. So Riverbed was in the space, Cisco WAS, and then Silver Peak. Those were the big 3. We still have all of that capability built into our product. We are the only SD-WAN vendor that has that capability. So if you ever have a need where somebody needs to overcome long distances, for example, it's kind of old school, but this company doesn't want to change. I actually work with a company here in Denver. They have 400 people in an office in Delhi, India, that come back to a data center here in Denver, Colorado, right? So they apply WAN acceleration to it. So the WAN optimization space, we don't see it too much anymore. However, it's a tool in the toolbox if you ever need it. All right, so now we're going to, all of that was a setup, what we talked about before, to security. Remember, the ability to route traffic wherever you needed to go, but then also automation, right, that the orchestrator brings to the Aruba Edge Connect solution. And so again, when we talk about SASE, we've heard of that, the SSE providers, we've got people moving outside of the workplace, right, mobile users, how do we secure all of those? And SSE providers are providing a very flexible service for that, as well as the ability to handle those types of situations very easily. And so the term SASE came about with the combination of an SD-WAN solution and an SSE provider. And so one of the things, right, we've talked about automation with the Edge Connect platform. And one thing that Aruba Edge Connect does is it does not tell you who you should be partnering with in the SSE space to create a SASE solution. We actually have created partnerships with all of the leaders in that space. And by partnerships, I mean we have full automation within those solutions to connect all of our sites, right, or all of the customer sites to those providers that that your customer may choose. So for example, with Zscaler, with Checkpoint CloudGuard, with Netscope, right, and coming with Cloudflare, we have full automation via APIs with their portals to create tunnels and direct traffic, right, to those particular providers. Now we can partner with any provider, such as Palo Alto Prisma, Cisco Umbrella. They just aren't willing to open up their API stacks to us to actually partner and create that automation. And so we have, though, the ability to partner with anybody. And so we build those third-party IPsec tunnels to them. That is on a semi-manual basis, or we have the full API integration with many of the SSE providers as well in that SSE space. And so again, that's part of the SASE story. Now we're going to get into our integrations with Aruba that have allowed us to actually add a zero trust component to that as well. So we always have had zone-based firewall capabilities. We've created this particular matrix that you can see. It's very easy to see what is going on between zones and what you have configured. And that is a centralized policy that goes fabric-wide, right? So when you build an SD-WAN fabric with the Aruba Edge Connect platform, this will get pushed out fabric-wide throughout your environment. And we've incorporated this with ClearPass. So Aruba, they have a great network access control solution called ClearPass. You all are probably familiar with that. We have full integration with ClearPass now. So our orchestrator and any ClearPass policy manager in a particular environment, they will communicate over APIs, and the Aruba orchestrator will now ingest any of the identity parameters, right, that is in that ClearPass environment, and then push that down to every Edge Connect within that environment. So now the Aruba Edge Connect appliances and the software can use those identity parameters in the business intent overlays that we were showing, that I showed you before, in order to make traffic decisions, and then in our zone-based firewall configurations as well into those ACLs. So we are fully integrated into Aruba ClearPass, or with Aruba ClearPass. And then the second major integration that we've done is with their UTM environment. So we now have IDS, IPS capabilities within the platform as well. And that is all from the common feeds that come from Aruba. We did not reinvent the wheel. We're using the same signature database coming from Proofpoint that your Aruba environment already does. So if you've got an Aruba environment out there, you've got switches, right? You've got APs that are using IPS, IDS. The Edge Connect solution can slide seamlessly right into that environment as well. Because of that, we've always had the SD-WAN capabilities. Obviously, the SSE providers provide the cloud security. We have that bundle. Now, because of the integration with ClearPass and the integration of IPS, IDS, now we can actually say we are zero trust end to end. And because of that, we believe we have the most complete SASE story out there today. All of that combined, right, is the strongest SASE story in the market today. Because of that, we can also extend this security, right, to our cloud infrastructure partners. So we have partnerships, obviously, with the big ones: Google Cloud, Azure, AWS, Oracle Cloud. And again, we have full automation with all of those. Our orchestrator will talk with AWS, Azure, right? It will talk via API to their portals and basically automate the connections into AWS Transit Gateway as well as Azure's vWAN Gateway. All of this has come together to allow us to obtain the very first ICSA secure SD-WAN certification in the industry. So those of you familiar with ICSA, they are a security, they are a third-party company that goes out and basically rates different security solutions. So Palo Alto, right, Fortinet, all of those. They created a separate category called the Secure SD-WAN certification. Aruba Edge Connect, because of all the features that we just went through, we are the first ones to obtain this certification. It's been about 2 years in the making, right, with all of the integrations and everything that we've done. But still to date, we have other vendors that are going through it, but I believe that we are still the only ones that have attained it. If there are other ones that have obtained it here recently, we were still the first. And so that's something that we're very proud of.
All right, thank you, Jason and Adam. We do have a few questions, so let's get right to them. First of all, you know, SD-WAN has now been around for several years. So what do you think is taking companies so long to jump on the SD-WAN and the SASE bandwagon?
So my perspective, right, is that it is, you know, 2015, 2016 is when it came out. And
Right.
so, you know, you had to be an early adopter probably within the last 5 years in order to make that change. It's not, it's a change not only in infrastructure, but it's a change in mindset, you know. And so I think a lot of companies were waiting to see, is this really going to become something viable, right? Is this something that, you know, because we don't want to just jump into something and then it's a fad, it's not fully developed, those types of things, right? So I really think that now we're going to see it take off even more because it's shown that it is sticking around. It showed the value, right? People, once engineers get their hands on a UI like the orchestrator, they don't want to go back to doing things and managing things like they did before, right? They get all the reporting, the ease of configuration, ease of troubleshooting. So I think that's one thing, right? There are companies that needed to see if it was going to stick around and become a real viable solution, and I think that has been proven. The second thing is you are in network cycles, right? Infrastructure cycles. So you have companies, right, that they're on a 3 to 5 year refresh cycle, and also with contracts, right? So, you know, different maintenance contracts, not only for their equipment but for their underlays, right? And so they're waiting for those to come up, and then, you know, okay, when it becomes time to renew, we're going to look at that and start seeing, what do we want to do? Do we want to continue with our current solution, what we've had, or do we want to go with the new SD-WAN products that can give us, you know, a greater flexibility, greater visibility, those types of things. So that's my opinion.
All right, great. Now, what can you also discuss how companies can save money by making the transition to SD-WAN and SASE compared to using legacy solutions?
Sure. Sorry, Adam, I don't want to cut you off if you were going, but where we've seen a lot of the big savings, right, is in your underlay costs. So, for example, when I was on the customer side, we were paying $1,200 a month for T1 circuits, right? MPLS that give you a 1.5, you know, meg of transmission, where you can now go out and get a broadband internet connection, 100 gig for like $50 a month, right? So that's a huge potential savings, and one that we're seeing a lot of companies make the move is moving off of those MPLS type circuits completely onto broadband, or rather than having dual MPLS circuits, maybe they keep one MPLS circuit, move to one broadband circuit. They're augmenting, right, their underlays. So that's a great way to, that's a big money saver. The other side is the number of appliances that they need in their branches. You know, before they needed a firewall, a router, maybe a WAN optimization appliance, maybe this, right? They could consolidate that all down to one appliance now and one solution. So that's also where a lot of savings come in when it comes to customers. So those are two main areas that I see.
Yeah, I was gonna echo that, the consolidation of the stack at the edge coming down and simplifying that, and then also just the visibility of the network. I mean, people spend millions of dollars, you know, developing, you know, what the Silver Peak and ultimately Aruba stack has turned out to be. So just that across the stack visibility that IT organizations have now with SD-WAN appliances integrated with security, integrated with SASE. I mean, that the ability to troubleshoot, remediate, log in remotely, not have to go on site, not have to go out there for dispatch and break fix and things like that. It gives them a lot of flexibility and the speed of deployment. These are not, and I think back to the previous question, why hasn't everyone jumped on board yet? A lot of people wanted to see it proved out, and now that it's been through at least 1.5 refresh cycles, and people are moving to cloud services and moving to hybrid environments, the network's not getting any easier to manage manually, right? It's not getting any, it's not simplifying. So you need software at these layers to help the humans behind the IT actually manage their applications, manage their people, manage their remote connections. That's not getting easier when these capabilities are launching forward faster.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can actually see and monitor everything that's connected to the network?
Yes, absolutely. In the Edge Connect platform, you can actually see it on a flow basis. You can see every flow going through the appliance, right? You can get historical reporting all about it, all that good stuff. You have real-time reporting and historical reporting of your underlays, but the one thing that when I first came on board, what I loved was the ability to see each and every flow. So if you have a user that calls and says, hey, I'm having a problem with my Microsoft Teams call, you can actually look at their specific flows, see what's happening with it, and troubleshoot it, right? And for network engineers, it's so powerful, right? For those companies, the meantime, you hear the terms mean time to innocence and mean time to resolution. And that's exactly the tools that are built into the Edge Connect platform to help you get to those end results as quick as possible.
Okay. All right. Can you discuss how you deal with the increasing number of security threats?
Absolutely. So from the Edge Connect point of view, obviously IDS IPS is a huge component of that, right? Because we get our signatures from the Aruba environment, Proofpoint specifically, in order to keep those updated. Those are updated on a daily basis. And then of course, we do have our regular firewall capabilities, but again, it's our partnership with or our integration into ClearPass, and then our partnerships with those SSE providers, right? Those SSE providers are the ones that essentially do that better than anybody, right? As far as scale, as far as keeping all of their, threat maps updated. It's the partnerships. We really believe 1 + 1 = 3. That's the Aruba Edge Connect philosophy, right? So we allow them to do what they do best, while we do what we do best as well on our side. I hope that answers your question.
Adam, do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, so from a SOC and security operations standpoint, we're constantly ingesting feeds and alert streams from different folks. We have a monthly meeting with our regional FBI teams from a cybersecurity perspective, and then we subscribe to all the different threat vectors and feeds. So Quest is monitoring and maintaining about 50,000 endpoints just from a desktop standpoint around the United States. So we get a lot of real world feedback of what's happening out there, and then we rely heavily on folks out there in the security space who are monitoring for 0-day threats, notifying of, hey guys, patch your systems, get your systems patched, update your systems, get things in place, make sure those vulnerabilities are adjusted and you're under compliance and support with your underlying systems and things like that. But it's definitely not a set it and forget it mindset. It's a daily, hourly management practice for us.
Okay, great. I'm just wondering if you can discuss how you've had to adapt to today's remote and hybrid workforces.
Yeah, so it actually we thought that was going to be a real change for us, right? But it was really ironic. This past year, the Edge Connect platform actually surpassed all of its sales goals within the Aruba portfolio. And so it doesn't seem that that businesses have been letting go from what we can see as far as their locations and needing that secure service, but becoming part of the Aruba portfolio. You know, Aruba, we are not the only WAN side solution for Aruba, right? They have the via VPN client, they have the micro branch solution. So Aruba has a full suite portfolio that can meet any of those needs, right? And so for us, from the Edge Connect platform, right, we're not going to be on somebody's laptop securing the Road Warrior, right? Or we're not necessarily going to be in, you know, a small branch type solution. However, there's still other products within the suite that can fulfill that role for you. And great partnerships with Quest, right? So, you know, I'm sure that Adam, if you can speak to what you guys are doing, what you're seeing with the remote workforce as well.
Yeah, so for Quest as a service provider, we have our brick and mortar facilities, right, where we've always had folks, data centers, and our network operation centers and our SOC. But we've always had remote teams as well. So that was not too big of a transition for us. For our clients, you know, 2 years ago, we saw some big capacity needs for supporting that remote workforce. I think everyone kind of rushed to getting that squared away and getting remote capacity online and available to support those end users with different connections and things like that. Subsequently, then we saw a big spike in, hey, as you push out that edge, there's different security concerns to think about, right, for people connecting back in. So the remote work and the people working from home in diverse environments actually it increased our workload as a service provider to help secure those edge points, to help secure that the remote workers. How are they going to access corporate environment? How are we going to validate who they are, and where they say what they say they're doing? So getting into a lot more of those zero trust conversations. Hey, constantly authenticating, helping organizations create policies to manage their people effectively. Same as the general security concerns, right? It's people are moving all over right now. They're working from different locations, road warriors, back to office strategies. It's a very dynamic time in the IT world, and we're a service provider that helps people accomplish their IT needs. So for us, it's been a very exciting time, but also challenging, making sure we're getting folks to a secure place.
And that's going to do it for our webinar. I want to thank Adam Burke, the Quest Technology Management VP of Sales and Partnerships, Jason Anderson, Aruba's Channel Systems Engineer, and Vivian Aedo, Quest's Partner Marketing and Programs Manager. Remember, you will be able to access this webinar and all other Channel Vision presentations on demand by visiting our website at channelvisionmag.com. And now from all of us at Channel Vision Magazine, from our friends at Quest Technology Management and Aruba, thanks for attending. Have a safe and prosperous day.